What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man. Yes, I'm back at it again, and this is American Horror Story 1984, Episode 2 discussion / review. And yes, it was another fantastic episode, man. This episode was jam-packed with information and stuff, and everything was just going down at once, and it's titled Mr. Jingles. So, everyone knows that Mr. Jingles is there, he's alive, and he's well right now. So, this episode starts off with the psychiatrist from the psych ward place talking to, what's her name? I don't remember. Margaret. Talking to Margaret about Mr. Jingles escaping. And Margaret was like, well, I don't care. I'm not shutting the camp down because I'm not letting fear rule me or anything. And she pulls out a gun and she's like, I'm ready for Mr. Jingles. If he's coming this time, I'm going to shoot him. You're not ready, Margaret. Mr. Jingles has planned everything to a T. So she tells the psychiatrist to leave. The psychiatrist leaves. Okay, she goes about her business. And she gets down the road. She gets a flat tire. Lady, you have a psychopath on the loose. You get a flat tire and you stop. I am riding on the rim. I ain't stopping for nothing. She stops. A truck pulls up. A tow truck pulls up behind her. She's like, oh, could you fix the flat for me? It's Mr. Jingles. We knew this, and she just assumed like he was a regular tow truck driver. Mr. Jingles gets her, kills her. Bam. Lady, she's dead. I mean, and he just demolished her, man. There was no hope for her. So that's one body already. So then we get back to the cabin, and it picks up right after last week's episode, and we have and we see Brooke watching the television, and they're discussing a murder at the gas station that they passed on their way to the cabins. And just so happens nobody happens to see the news segment. It goes off and they end up showing the Where's the Beef commercial. They didn't see the whole news segment at all. Brooke was the only one that seen it, and they still don't believe anything that she's saying. So then she starts to go and kind of like a little crazy a little bit, and she kind of brushes everyone off. Then Margaret bops in and tells everyone, boys gotta go and girls, you gotta stay in here. So then she starts to tell Brooke how she fears being alone at night. And then we get into a flashback. And I told you the ring was going to come in play. I knew the ring was going to come in play, and it came in play in a major way because she was getting married. Her father was walking her down the aisle, and her fiance claimed that she was sleeping with his best man, which also happened to be a friend of hers, because he followed them and he went to her hotel room or cabin or whatever, and he didn't come out till the next morning. Dude shot this man point blank range in the skull, killed him dead. Killed her father, then turned around and killed himself. I understand why Brooke feels some type of way now, man. Dude, with a past like that, you have no choice but to feel some type of way. So then she's telling this to Montana, and Montana's trying to, I guess, feel sympathy for her and tries to kiss her, and Brooke was like, no. No. So she goes outside to have a walk and some fresh air, and she gets to the lake. Then she's just chilling at the lake, and another trope pops up. There's water, a body floats by in the water. But what is weird, because it was so dark and I couldn't really tell, it could have been the hiker, or it could have been the psychiatrist that Mr. Jingle pretty much demolished and just threw her in the lake. I don't know. It was so dark I really couldn't tell. So then we have Richard Ramirez, aka the Night Stalker, pop up. And what I'm really liking about this story now is because some people told me on my last video that he was a real serial killer. So this is interesting. And I don't want to be one of those people like, oh yeah, I'm feeling the serial killer now. But dude, this episode, you gotta give it up for Richard Ramirez. Man, dude was straight crazy, man. Awesome at the same time, but I'm sad he's a serial killer. But he was awesome at the same time. This whole episode, like with him showing up and Mr. Jingle still running around, it felt like a Freddy versus Jason type thing to me, man. It felt, and that's what I loved about it. Then we also have the boys on their way going to take a bath and a shower, and we have Xavier getting pulled to the side because he wanted like soap and everything, and a hand towel and everything. So he left to go get his towel, and he gets pulled to the side by someone named Blake. And for some reason, Blake is someone that pretty much pimped Xavier out when he was younger, and made him do porn and made him gay for pay. He was like, and it was so sad because dude was like, he was breaking down in tears. He was like, I'm not gay, but he was like, and Blake was like, you got to be gay for pay. And he was like, well, what if I can give you someone way better than me? So then we get to the shower scene, and Blake is looking in on Trevor and all the other guys, and he's just fascinated by Trevor. And dude, another typical trope. There's a little small hole. He's peeking through the hole, and Xavier leaves him there, and Mr. Jingle comes and kills him. Another fantastic trope, man. I love this show. It's only 2 episodes in, and this is fantastic, man. So then we also find out, well, it's going on at the same time, that Richard Ramirez is also trying to kill Brooke. She gets away, and then this is where it gets interesting. This is where it took like a whole different turn. Richard Ramirez bumps into the hiker. He kills the hiker in like a awesome fashion, man. It was beast the way he killed that hiker. He was like, and then he just slit his throat out. Yet again, he's a serial killer. I don't want to boast him too much, but dude was fantastic in this episode, man. And he killed the dude twice, and it had me thinking that maybe we were stuck in like a time loop type thing, and Margaret had set all this up just to get those kids killed so she could try to kill Mr. Jingle. I still think that's her whole plan. She set this whole thing up so she could try to kill Mr. Jingle herself. But now I don't think it's a time loop. I'm thinking that the hiker is a ghost because he's straight from 1970. He knows Margaret, and Margaret talks to him, and she tells him she thinks he's a ghost because he ended up getting killed by Mr. Jingle as well. So dude's a ghost. But the only reason he's stuck at the camp, he died on the highway. We saw that in this episode. And that's why he bumped into Brooke and everyone else on the highway, because he died on the highway. But they brought his body back to the camp. So he keeps coming to the camp where every time he gets killed, he keeps reappearing at the camp. And I love that. So we got 2 serial killers running around. We got Miss Margaret that's quite questionable because I'm starting to think she set all this up so she can kill Mr. Jingle. And we have a ghost running around at the same time. Dude, this story is phenomenal, man. This is beast, man. This story is picking up like boss. Then we have a bunch of other scenes as well. We have Mr. Jingles coming after the nurse. We have the guys discovering Blake's body, and everybody's like, he's dead. Ray, why don't you check his pulse? I ain't checking his pulse. He's dead. He's dead. We know he got a hole in his skull. He's dead. Then we have Brooke telling everyone that the Night Stalker is there as well. So we got 2 serial killers running around the camp. But this time it get interesting as well. The Night Stalker pretty much abandoned his whole thing to kill Brooke. And he ends up talking to Margaret, and him and Margaret go into this whole thing, and he starts telling us his backstory. And I quite feel kind of sad for him as well. I mean, he has a tragic past, but I mean, that still doesn't give you reason to go around just killing people. But he has a tragic past, and I kind of semi-understand why he's doing what he's doing. But Brooke took the fact about his past and what he's doing to her advantage. She wants him to either kill the ghost. Well, that kind of threw that plan out the window because she talked to the ghost towards the end of this episode. She may have kept him around because she wants him to kill Mr. Jingles. Now, if that's the case, then we definitely have a Freddy versus Jason type thing on our hands. We have Mr. Jingles versus the Night Stalker, which is gonna be beast, man. Yeah, that's all that pretty much happened this episode. Then we have Xavier kind of flipping out at the moment when they get to the cabin to try to find their keys to leave. It's all my fault. I knew the guy. He was here for me, and maybe this is karma on me and everything. Dude, you need to get your stuff together. We are leaving. And one moment that pissed me off to no end, man, is when it was the nurse, Chet, Ray, and Brooke, and they were in there looking for the keys for the nurse's car, and they couldn't find them, and nobody wanted to go in the house. Dude, if we don't get these keys, we can't leave. But that's fine. I will use Batman and Robin, and I will walk my way out of here, man. I'm not staying at this camp another second. But that's just my take on it, man. Then there was one more moment that pissed me off to no end. Margaret told the boys that the boys have to take a bath at night so they can wake up clean and sin free in the morning. They get down there to the showers. She cuts all of the lights off. Lady, look at me. Look at me in my eyes. Either you leave these lights on till I finish taking a shower, or I'm taking a shower in the morning. It is creepy out here, lady. There's Mr. Jingles, there's the Night Stalker. I am not taking a shower in the dark. But that's pretty much all that happened this episode, man. I absolutely loved it. I told you guys that from the very beginning, but now it is getting super interesting, and there's a lot more story going on. We got a backstory for the Night Stalker, we got backstory for Brooke, and both they had some tragic stuff going on, man. But we also have, in my opinion, a Freddy versus Jason type thing going on, and I think Margaret may have set all of this up just so she can have an opportunity to kill Mr. Jingles herself for what he done to her in the past and all her friends that were at the camp the very first time. That's my take. But yeah, man, the episode was boss. I absolutely loved it, and there's a lot going on, man. We got 2 serial killers and a ghost. This is your boy, The Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, man. Peace out.